Hey guys, welcome to Growth Traders, and in this video we are going to talk about how you could capture this Bank Nifty's 1200 point rally the perfect way, right? So yes, this is a learning video. I'll be going to explain a strategy of ours that will do wonders in this kind of scenarios, right? So you can see here Bank Nifty today made an intraday rally of about 1200 points, right? So from about 40,300 it has made an high of about 41,600 and closed at around the 41,300 mark, right? So how you could basically capture this whole movement the right way, right? So let's have a look at that. So in this video we are going to discuss about a strategy that is called as your uh, ex exhaustion gap trading strategy, right? So this is what we call as the exhaustion gap trading strategy. Of course this is an absolutely amazing strategy. Let me explain this to you how it works, right? So just you first of all you need to have an idea about the overall market, right? So for example, you must be aware of the fact that in case of Nifty and Bank Nifty we are witnessing FII buying, right, each day. So of course markets are on a bullish run as of now. And if I were to talk about the US market, right, so right after the CPI inflation data, it has fallen by about 1100 sorry 1300 points intraday, right? So the Dow was extremely bearish, Nasdaq was strongly bearish, and if I were to talk about the SGX Nifty, so it was signaling approximately a 300 point gap down, right, in Nifty. So when it comes to the Bank Nifty, you can see here that I'll mark this demand zone, right? This is a nice demand zone. You can see here the price opened here, it retraced till this level, and after here, right, it has bounced and eventually it has gone up, right? So of course the market opens at around this region, and since this market was a nice bullish market, I'm talking about Bank Nifty especially. Why? Because Bank Nifty has recently broken 40,000 and sustained above it, right? So when the price opened at around this 40,300 level, we witnessed an absolutely amazing short covering rally, right? So of course you don't really need to have an idea about that. What I mean to say is, if price opens at around a demand zone, huge gap down, and we are witnessing movement on the upside, a momentum on the upside, the initial 5 to 10 minutes of it, right, we can go for a buy position. So you can see here that right after price makes a low of about 40,288, price quickly goes up and it creates a recovery, right? It is a strong recovery as shown here. So how to trade this? Yes, the entry is going to be risky, right? So if you want to make an early entry in this case, what you can do is right at around this point you can make the entry with a stop loss below this region. So yes, the stop loss in this case is a bit large, 50 to 60 points I'm talking about when it comes to the at the money and slightly in the money options, right? So once the price goes in your direction, right, probably 40 to 50 points, what you have to do is you have to trail your option stop loss by about 30 to 40 points, right? And eventually if you are able to hold the option and the option price increases by about 60 to 70 points, what you have to do is you have to trail your stop loss to your buying price, right, to your cost. So that is, you have to have a cost to cost stop loss in that case, right? So you can see here in the first two candles only, Bank Nifty has rallied a lot, right? You can see here, I'll just use this tool. So from around here to here, Bank Nifty rallies about 320 points, right? So if somehow you were able to make your entry at this point, you should be at a profit of at least 100 point by the time Bank Nifty reaches this region, right? So what you have to do, you have to trail your stop loss to your cost, and eventually you have to hold it, right? So now the momentum sustains and eventually the price reaches the previous day low, right, from at around here. So this previous day low, you have to be a bit cautious at this region. Why? Because the price has already rallied about 400 points from the intraday low, right? So if the momentum, sometimes if it is not that strong enough, then the price faces a lot of issue crossing the previous day low. But you can see here it did not face any issue at all. It makes a clear cut strong candle above the previous day low, and eventually it enters a consolidation. So the trade till around this region is absolutely clear, right? You are already at a profit of at least 400 points, right? So that when it comes to the options, it should be about 250 to 300 points, right? Slightly in the mini options. Now again, in this case, what you have to do is you have to trail your stop loss, right? So say for example you are at a profit of 200 points, so what you can do is you can trail your stop loss from your cost to 50-60 points higher, right? Say for example in the option chart, right? In the option chart, you would have a similar candle, right? So what you can do is you can trail your stop loss from around your cost to the low of this candle. So once the price again goes down and eventually breaks this low, you can make an exit, right? So yes, just be a bit generous with the stop loss. Why? Because options can be volatile, and even the index in the initial trading hours is really volatile. So that is why you need to be generous with your stop loss. So don't be too much greedy in this case, right? You have to just hold it. So eventually the price makes an high of about 40,834, so a 500 point rally, and eventually it enters a consolidation, right? So once this consolidation, again you just hold it somehow, right? So what you can see here is price makes a crucial low at around this region, right? So from here the price makes a low and eventually it goes high. So what you can do is you can trail your stop loss from around here to this low, right? So again a 30 to 40 point shift. Now you have a confirmed profit of at least 100 points, right? So now what you have to do is, of course, you just need to hold it. Once the price breaks this structure and eventually the previous day high, right, you can make additional entries, right? So now the trend is confirmed, the price is really strong, and you can make some new entries at around here and hold everything with this stop loss, right? And eventually when the price makes this low, you can just trail your stop loss by 10 to 20 points more. I hope you are getting my point. So now the price again makes a low. What you have to do is you just need to hold it, right? So price makes an high of about 41,000. So yes, at this region, what you can also do is you can book a bit of your profits. Why? Because 41,000, right? 41,000 is a very, very important psychological level. So once the price hits it, it needs to sustain above it, right? So once it can easily reverse from there if there are shorters at around this region. So what you need to do is you have to be a little bit careful. Although there were no major significant pullbacks in today's rally, it was just a nice rally, right? You can see here only green candles, right? So eventually this high is also broken and the price keeps on going higher. You just need to keep trailing the stop loss until it gets hit at some point, right? So that is the process here. Of course your trailing stop loss would have got hit. I am really sure about it. Let it get hit, you should be at a massive profit by that period of time. So what is the benefit of this strategy, right? So whenever there is a movement, whenever there is such a strong movement after a huge gap down, right, on the upside, you can capture it, you can capitalize the strategy, right? You can just capture some really long bull runs with this trailing stop loss method, right? What you need to do, you need to make an early entry, and once the price goes above your buying price, and eventually, yeah, it is at a comfortable zone, then you can just keep trailing your stop losses, right? So that is the way it works, right? Eventually here also we get a day high break, and of course this is a bit risky entry. Why? Because price has already rallied so much, so it is definitely very risky to enter at around here. But of course you can try it with smaller quantity, right? So that is the way it works. This is the exhaustion gap trading strategy. It is absolutely amazing if you are able to capture such trades the right way. Usually we get this kind of moves once in a month, once or twice in a month. We got this kind of a movement probably 3 times this month, right, in the last 30 days. So if you are able to capture this the right way, then you should be at a huge profit by the end of the month, right? If you are making losses in other trades, then this should definitely cover everything, right? So yes, the entry criteria, again, price should open at around a demand zone, right? And the initial 5 to 10 minutes should witness a strong buying, right? This is the case of a gap down. If it is the opposite case, like, of course, in that case the overall market has to be bearish, right? If the market is strongly bearish and price somehow opens good gap up, then from here you can get a nice downside movement, and that is what we captured in the month of June. Bank Nifty fell about 1200 points intraday on an expiry day, right? So of course today was not an expiry day, tomorrow is an expiry day, so probably we can expect a good movement tomorrow as well. Let's see, fingers crossed, right? So I hope this video helped, right? This is a very very common price action technique, right? So if there is a huge cap down, retailers are in trouble. Retailers fear, they panic, they create selling pressure in the market, right? They create supply, and this supply is utilized by the institutions, right? So when the institutions enter, right, so they just buy in huge quantity, and that is what results in this momentum, and there is a huge rally. That is the usual case. There can be sometimes a short covering as well, as we have seen today. Today was not that big of an institutional buying. Why? Because the FIIs were net sellers, and even the DIIs bought for really small quantity, right? So I hope this helped, right? You can see here the volumes are also not that great today. Like if I were to talk about the previous FII buying areas, there were just crazy volumes, right? So I hope this trading strategy would help you, right? So just join our free Telegram channel. The link is in the description. That should help you stay up to date with the best market setups and eventually trade them, right? So that was all about Bank Nifty and this exhaustion gap trading strategy. If you have any doubts, you can clear it up in our comment section. I'll be happy to clear them, right? See you guys in our next video. Like, share and subscribe.